So Amir, the last question, and I can assure you, audience, this question is not structured to Amir, because we are asking Amir to respond to this because Amir has probably, and by now, got the most experience in it. So thank you very much, Amir, for joining the panel. And my question to you, Amir, would be straight about your views on the general banking industry's preparedness in relation to management of cybersecurity incidents and threats, because obviously we have been experiencing certain franchise-threatening cybersecurity incidents. So first question is that, and second is around even if that happens, despite the fact that we've got preventive controls. So what is your level of capability assessment of of the industry at large to be able to respond to those crisis situations through effective incident management and business continuity management strategies? So please, Amir, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's working. Thank you for us. Yes, I think it's good for me also to share my experience. But let me make a little candid and blanket statement before that. That as a nation or a country, we are kind of a reactive nation. Even if you look at the compliance-related regulations, these regulations came to Pakistan in 2010, and now we are talking about, when you started this panel discussion, you spoke about the accounts of chaiwalas and rediwalas and all that. So the anti-money laundering law was there since 2010. And after some financial penalty hitting a local bank in Pakistan, we knew that there are a lot of penalties hitting international banks, like so many, I don't want to name them. But when a penalty hit to a local bank, then all of us actually woke up, and we are kind of a reactive posture which we showed in improving our system. Same thing happened as far as the cyber security or the cyber crime aspect of financial transactions is concerned. Couple of years ago, we had an incident in Bangladesh where almost $81 million taken out from the Central Bank of Bangladesh. Last year, we had an incident, a bigger one in India.
Yeah.
Around $13–14 million were taken out from Cosmos Bank. And even at that point in time, as a nation, we were thinking that this is happening with India, Bangladesh, Turkey, US, but it will not happen in Pakistan. So, so as a result of that, our posture, our security posture, was not aligned to whatever it should have been. Now, since we have an incident or a couple of incidents in Pakistan, so we are actually redesigning all our security policies. We are redesigning our capability to handle these kinds of things. So more specifically, as far as managing that kind of an incidence is concerned, we need to have, firstly, have a different security posture, because although we are growing very fast in a lot of things in banking on the digital space, these microfinance banks were doing extremely well on that side. The normal commercial banks were also investing a lot in digital banking. The systems were upgraded, customer convenience was there. Now you can do pretty much every transaction on your mobile app. But side by side, the amount of investment which was required to get into the security posture of the banks was not commensurate with the type of risk which we were getting exposed to over a period of time. And as a result of that, the first thing which I learned is actually the mindset.
Yeah.
So as an organization, it's more important that the entire staff of the organization should have an understanding of the type of risk to which a bank is exposed to, in addition to the compliance risk, which are the cyber security related risks. And when I was in my last organization, when the information security guy used to tell us that we're gonna block your USB, we are controlling your emails and all that, so we used to get upset. But I think as an organization, you have to do a lot of preventive controls, build and predictive controls, build around your system, because the pace at which these events happen are so fast that even few minutes are very, very important. If your response is delayed by maybe 10 or 15 minutes, then the damage has been done. So actually, your security posture should be predictive and preventive rather than reactive.
Yeah.
And to have that security posture, you have to have a culture in your organization, build all across the information, across the organization, how important information security is concerned. So probably not every employee needs an access to a web, because most of these attacks happens through the web-facing applications. Either a hacker or an attacker come that way. A lot of it happens to phishing emails, that you receive external emails on your domain and then you channel it, and then the malware get into your system. So we need to learn as an organization that there is absolutely no need to give access to internet for surfing purposes to every employee. There is actually no need to give email access to every employee as far as receiving and sending external emails are concerned. You need an internal email access, but you not necessarily need an external email access for all your employees. And then understanding the concept of network security, which is slightly different from application security. A lot of time we invest on application securities and we just forget about the network securities. So these are two separate layers, and we need to invest on both of them. A lot of time we only invest in firewalls, that we have put in one firewall or a web application firewall, and we are happy that. But we need to have more into it, like doing zoning inside your network, so that even the people who works in information technology don't have access to the entire network. They should have access on a need to have basis rather than on the basis of their authority or position in an organization. So all these things will help to prevent any unlikely or unwanted incidents happening inside a bank. And then when you have all that thing in place in your organization, it's not really very difficult, frankly, because I'm now telling it out of my experience that doing this is not really difficult. Sometimes it feels very expensive, it's very difficult, but actually it is not. So it's actually changing your mindset. And then side by side, you should always have a emergency response capability or an instance response capability. Because if somebody is thinking that no emergency going to happen in my organization, actually that person is living in a fallacy. You can have an emergency relating to a fire, normal fire and safety incidents. You can have an emergency relating to a compliance and reputational incidents, finding out accounts of these thela-walas and chai-walas and all that. You can have an instance relating to a cyber security. So one most important thing which I learned, that you have to stay in front. You have to inform the regulator instantaneously. You have to stay in front of the media. Stay in touch with the media, because now we have so many news channels, like maybe 30, 40 news channels, and they have to air news 24/7. So if you don't give them a statement based on facts, then they will publish statements based on their own judgment.
This is a very good
point. So
point.
it's very, very important that each institution should have a public relations agency engaged, should have people who are designated to talk to the media through the public relationing agency, so that we can put the right factual based message across to the media. So I think these are the things, these steps are simple, but it's actually about changing your security posture and changing your mindset. And we can easily cover those up. And one most important thing is that we have identified few risks, like the compliance risk and the cyber security risk. There are still more risks to it. Like when I was in a previous organization, the same building got burned twice. And if I go to the same building again, although that organization don't operate from that building again, if you go to that building again and look at the fire and safety arrangement, it can easily get a third one. So it's actually, when you had it, sometimes people start thinking, because I had my piece of it, so I will not get it again. So it's not the case. You can have it second, third or fourth time. So that's very important. So you have to be prepared for handling these things, and you have to be predictive, preventive, and then reactive as well. Because if there is an incident happening in your organization, then you have to manage your organization in front of the external world, in front of the regulators, and in front of your customers. You have to stand in front of everybody, and you have to present facts.
Excellent.
So that's my experience.
Thank you very much, Amir, for such an elaborative response.